why your softness is your superpower and the system doesn't want you to know it. Good morning, beautiful souls. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred space where strong Black women unlearn survival, rediscover softness, and reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom they deserve without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. And I am your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every second of it. Today, I had the profound honor of sitting down with Rhonda Parker, a visionary leader whose work is transforming how Black professionals and entrepreneurs think about success, mental health, and what it truly means to thrive. Rhonda is not just talking about rest as a nice idea. She is building ecosystem strategies and communities that make softness sustainable, that make joy non negotiable, and that make our nervous systems a central part of how we lead. Her insights are reshaping the conversation around ambition for Black women, and I cannot wait to share what we discussed. Let me start with something Rhonda said that stopped me in my tracks. She told me that entering your soft girl era as a Black professional or entrepreneur is not about opting out of ambition. It is about redesigning success so that ease, mental health, and joy are non negotiable metrics of achievement, not afterthoughts. Let that sit with you for a moment. We have been conditioned, sisters, to believe that struggle, self sacrifice, and that strong Black woman energy are required to be taken seriously in business. We have been taught that if we are not grinding, if we are not carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders, then we are not worthy of the rooms we occupy, the titles we hold, or the dreams we are building. But here's what they do not tell you: that narrative was never designed for your well being, it was designed to extract from you, to keep you productive, compliant, and quiet about your pain, to make you believe that your value is tied to how much you can endure, how much you can sacrifice, how much you can carry without breaking. And when you do break, they replace you. They do not mourn you. They do not honor you. They just move on. But Rhonda flipped that script entirely. She said that softness, rest, boundaries, and emotional safety are not signs of weakness. They are advanced leadership. They are the tools that allow us to make better decisions, to build more resilient businesses, to show up more powerfully for our teams, our families, and ourselves. And here's the part that really shook me. She shared research showing that Black women founders who intentionally build community, set boundaries, and center wellness are creating more resilient businesses, stronger networks, and broader impact than those driven solely by grind culture. Softness is not just kinder, it is more effective, it is more sustainable, it is smarter. So many of us have been running on fumes, believing that the only way to win in corporate spaces or entrepreneurship is to carry the entire load alone at the expense of our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. Rhonda is here to tell us that is a lie, and she brought the receipts. Let me share three key insights from our conversation that I want you to hold close, to write down, to carry with you as you move through your week, your quarter, your soft girl era. The first insight is this: your nervous system is a business asset, not a liability. Research on Black women's mental health shows that constantly suppressing vulnerability and overfunctioning to meet work demands leads to higher stress, burnout, and underutilization of mental health care. We have been taught to push through, to be strong, to never let them see us sweat. But what that does, sisters, is it dysregulates our nervous systems. It keeps us in fight or flight mode. It makes us reactive instead of responsive. It clouds our judgment. It drains our creativity. It shortens our fuse in conflict. It makes us leaders who are surviving, not thriving. Rhonda and I talked about how honoring your emotional needs through therapy, through peer support, through rest, actually strengthens your decision making, your creativity, your ability to manage conflict with grace. Softness becomes a strategic tool for better leadership, not something you earn once you have already burned out. Your ability to regulate your emotions, to pause before you respond, to create space for reflection, that is not soft in the weak sense. That is soft in the powerful sense. That is the kind of leadership that builds legacy, not just revenue. And let me tell you about a woman who is living this truth. Her name is Kamisha L. Jones Brandon, and she is the founder of Sister Afia Community Care, a Chicago based nonprofit providing culturally responsive mental health care to Black women and girls. Kamisha is a licensed clinical social worker, and she saw a gap. She saw that Black women face disproportionately high levels of stress, stigma, and barriers to mental health care, shaped by racism, sexism, and expectations of constant strength. She saw that traditional mental health systems often lack cultural competence and do not reflect Black women's lived experiences, making care feel unsafe or irrelevant. She saw that many Black professional and entrepreneurial women are balancing leadership roles, caretaking, and economic strain while carrying unaddressed trauma and burnout. So in 2020, Kamisha launched Sista Afia Community Care to offer therapy, support groups, and wellness programming specifically for Black women and girls rooted in their cultural and lived realities. The organization adopts a community based, culturally responsive model integrating peer support, group healing spaces, and psychoeducation that speaks directly to the pressures on Black women, including workplace stress and entrepreneurship challenges. By positioning mental health support as normalized, accessible, and communal, Sister Afia reframes seeking help as an empowered choice, not a failure of strength. Since its founding, Sister Aisha Community Care has served over 2,000 Black women and girls through therapy and wellness programs. The organization has become a recognized model of culturally grounded mental health support, helping Black women sustain their roles in careers, business, and community while centering healing and rest. Participants report improved coping, reduced isolation, and a stronger sense of agency in managing stress and mental health, key foundations for a soft approach to work and leadership. Kamesha built Sister Afia not just as a clinic, but as a community ecosystem designed so Black women could access care that respected their identities, their ambitions, and their desire for an easeful life. That is what it looks like to treat your nervous system as a business asset. That is what it looks like to build infrastructure around softness. The second insight Rhonda shared with me is this: community is the new currency for Black professionals in their soft era. Research on Black women founders shows that when they prioritize community, network support circles, and culturally affirming spaces, they not only recover from setbacks, but they also build scalable models rooted in wellness and mutual aid. Rhonda encouraged me, and I am encouraging you to audit your current ecosystems. Who supports your softness? Who expects your self sacrifice? Who celebrates your boundaries? Who drains your energy? Let me tell you about Charlene Kemmler, CEO of the Loveland Foundation, an organization dedicated to expanding access to culturally competent therapy and mental health support for Black women and girls. Loveland's work embodies a soft era framework at scale. It funds therapy, it builds networks of Black and allied clinicians, and it situates healing at the center of Black women's capacity to thrive in work and business. Black women often lack financial access to quality mental health care, particularly culturally competent therapy. The intersection of racism, sexism, workplace discrimination, and entrepreneurial stress frequently goes unsupported, leading to chronic burnout and mental health crises. Many Black women professionals and founders remain in high stress roles without tools or systems to process grief, racial trauma, or fatigue. The Loveland Foundation raised funds to provide therapy vouchers and financial support specifically for Black women and girls, reducing economic barriers to care. The organization intentionally partners with therapists and mental health providers trained in culturally competent modalities, ensuring Black women are seen and understood in context. Charlene's leadership focuses on building an ecosystem for healing at every level, advocating that mental health support be integrated into how we think about leadership, entrepreneurship, and community development for Black women. Loveland has enabled thousands of therapy sessions for Black women and girls, providing sustained access to support that can address workplace stress, entrepreneurial pressure, and personal trauma. The foundation has become a widely recognized model that demonstrates how philanthropy and organizational design can center Black women's well being as a core value, not a side initiative. Black women who receive support are better equipped to navigate leadership roles, build businesses, and participate in community advocacy without constantly operating from survival mode. The Loveland Foundation illustrates that soft girl era principles, therapy, rest, emotional safety can be embedded into the resource flows and structures that surround Black professionals and entrepreneurs. Pursuing softness is not just about personal choices, it is also about leveraging and building institutions that materially support Black women's capacity to thrive in leadership and business. The third insight is this: you can design a business and career that fit the life you want, not the other way around. Too many Black professionals are building careers and companies around hustle norms that were never designed with our well being in mind. Rhonda emphasized that your soft girl era is about re engineering the structure of your work, your strategy, your pricing, your staffing, your boundaries, so that it supports rest, relationships, and health. Softness is a design principle. You can create policies, products, and schedules that keep you out of chronic survival mode. And this redesign is a legitimate, powerful business strategy, not a luxury. Let me tell you about Yana Williams, founder of the Group Chat, a membership community designed to help Black women founders grow through community, culture, and capital. Yana previously led a multi-million dollar company focused on supporting Black girls, but ultimately had to close it as economic conditions and sponsor priorities shifted. The closure raised painful questions about whether she should abandon her purpose and identity as a founder, highlighting the emotional toll of business volatility and structural inequities for Black women leaders. Like many Black women professionals, she faced the challenge of rebuilding in a way that did not replicate burnout, isolation, or overextension. Instead of exiting the space altogether, Yana returned to her purpose with a redesigned model, founding the Group Chat, a membership community specifically for Black women founders. The Group Chat centers community and culture, creating a space where Black women entrepreneurs can share resources, receive support, and access capital while being seen in their fullness. This approach explicitly leverages relational support and collective wisdom as the backbone of business growth, aligning with the soft girl era that rejects hyper individualistic, grind only narratives. Yana transitioned from a painful business closure to a new venture that prioritizes Black women founders' well being and access to community, culture, and capital. The group chat offers Black women entrepreneurs a structured environment to grow without isolation and with greater emotional and strategic support. Her story is featured among 21 Black women who bounced back and are thriving after being pushed out of the workplace, demonstrating resilience grounded in redesigned, more sustainable models. After losing her previous company, Yana faced both professional and identity level grief, questioning whether continuing to build for Black women and girls was wise or possible in a shifting economic landscape. Instead of returning to traditional employment or embracing a purely hustle oriented rebuild, she chose to center community and culture, recognizing that Black women founders often suffer in silence when their businesses are under strain. The group chat emerged as a direct response, a space where Black women founders could find softness through mutual support, resource sharing, and culturally grounded connection, while still pursuing ambitious business goals. Yana's journey shows that soft girl era entrepreneurship for Black women can involve redefining success after loss, centering community over isolation, and building models that protect both purpose and peace. Her story offers a tangible example of how to respond to career and business disruption, not by hardening, but by leaning into collective care and culturally grounded ecosystems that support Black women founders. Sisters, these three women, Kamesha, Charlene, and Yana, are not outliers. They are the blueprint. They are showing us that we do not have to choose between ambition and ease, between impact and rest, between building empires and protecting our peace. We can have both. We must have both. So here's my question for you. If you stopped measuring your success by how much you can endure and started measuring it by how gently you can treat yourself while you lead, what would need to change in your career or business this quarter? What is one boundary, one support, or one rest practice you are willing to commit to today? This is not a soft suggestion. This is a disruption. This is a revolution. This is your soft girl era, and it is not about shrinking. It is about expanding into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. You do not need permission. You do not need to wait until you are burned out. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to build a life and a business that feels good, not just looks good. The world told you that softness was weakness. I am here to tell you that your softness is your superpower, and the system does not want you to know it. Because when Black women lead from a place of rest, when we build from a place of joy, when we refuse to sacrifice our peace for their profit, we become unstoppable. So go ahead, sis. Choose softness, choose yourself, choose freedom, and watch how the world shifts to meet you there.